just to reintroduce myself, my name is Uday Patel, and I'll be moderator for you guys for a special panelist. And in this panel, we'll be talking about thinking outside of North America, women in business. But so just to get started, we would like to introduce all of you. So if you guys can introduce yourself, starting with Devon.
Hi, I'm Devon. I'm a designer, entrepreneur, and activist that works in communities locally and globally. I'm also the co-founder of Artisan Global, a nonprofit that develops creative industries in northern Uganda alongside local entrepreneurs. I graduated from the University of Southern California with a degree in theater and advertising. And following college, I worked with many organizations that were advocating for the end of extreme poverty. I traveled to various places around the globe, but it was Uganda that I fell in love with. And I was working with former child soldiers, and I had seen these kids that had gone through war and recognized their resilience. And I just knew that one day I wanted to start a nonprofit that would help invest in the creative potential of people in Uganda. That led me to meeting Lauren. And in December 2018, myself and Lauren on this panel founded Artisan Global, and the rest, they say, is history.
And then next we can have Emma start.
Hello, my name is Anyek Immaculate. I am a woman entrepreneur. Sorry, my video quality may not be so good. It's very dark here. It's 11 p.m. Yeah, so I'm an entrepreneur that deals in arts and crafts. I deal with artisans here in Gulu, and also I'm a founder and director of Enterprise. But also I double as a business coach and trainer with the Startup Academy, which is affiliated to Gulu University.
Gotcha. And then next we have Hawa. If you can introduce yourself.
Yes, so hello, my name is Hawa. I'm here located in Montreal, Canada. So I'm the executive director of Seed Concordia. So Seed is a nonprofit organization based in Canada and Uganda as well. And so we are affiliated with Concordia University. So like our focus is mostly on development for youth. And like we have like several projects, including one in entrepreneurship where we provide trainings and also some funding for new startups. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Move on to Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a research program coordinator in Charleston, South Carolina at the Medical University of South Carolina. I co-founded Artisan Global with Devon in 2018. I particularly became passionate about financial literacy through international experiences and seeing really the potential and vibrancy of creative entrepreneurs globally. I recognized through partnering with a lot of different nonprofits and doing internships that we didn't need more handouts, but what we needed was a global community that has access to resources to really turn that potential into action and sustainable work opportunities. So I'm really proud to work with Devon and also Emma in Uganda in working on developing sustainable job opportunities.
Thank you so much. Those are just like different, like amazing stories to hear. It's like from different perspective, from a different country. Myself from being India, born in India. It's just really nice to hear like the different stories that financial literacy has impacted. But just to get started with Devon, with the first question, in your experience mentoring, what do you think is the biggest apprehension that women generally have, specifically in Uganda in this case, or communities in other countries? How can financial literacy help?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that barriers for women in business can exist locally and globally pretty similarly. I would say that limited access to finance, education, fear of failure, confidence, having lack of supportive networks, and lack of access to mentorship and positive business advice. Those are like the main ones that I see. And then I think that financial literacy is really important to remove some of those barriers, but I've also witnessed that motivational mentorship and advocacy is essential for women in business. So it's not just the financial aspect, but actually like the emotional aspect to encourage and like foster this like love and support so that all women can thrive together. So I think like as women and men and women, we have an opportunity to create a different kind of bank, if that's a way of saying it, but a bank of unlimited motivation, a bank of unlimited networks, shared strategies, technology, wisdom, encouragement, resources. And then we're able to pull from that bank that we have of unlimited support to support female entrepreneurs and solo entrepreneurs to really meet them where they need to be. Like if they need technology, then if we provide technology, we can actually see them accelerate their education and access to finances because we've already equipped them in the ways that we needed to. So with Artisan Global, we definitely try to be that extra bank of motivation and creative just currency of ideas and being soundboards, bouncing things back and forth, because we know that together we can make an impact, especially cross globally, and women can be accelerated like at the same pace when we're all sharing the same resources.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone that would like to speak or comment on that question? Okay.
Yeah, I would just like to echo what Devon said, and just being able to see in our experiences of working with entrepreneurs, really the power of supporting the simple action of supporting each other and uplifting each other in our language and in our actions of how we treat each other and how we view collaboration over competition. We hear that a lot, but really putting that into practice and the power that that has of uplifting women locally and internationally. It's a very powerful thing to be able to work together to create new ideas and new designs. And just as women begin to have even more of a voice on the global stage of different industries, the importance of collaboration and really knowing that our support for each other goes a really long way.
Yes, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And then just moving on to the next question, to Ima. As a woman who works internationally, specifically Uganda in this case, does financial literacy play a role in enhancing the confidence of women to build their own business and create a more representative class of leaders?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. As a woman and an entrepreneur in Uganda, I believe financial literacy has played a very big role in enhancing the confidence of women and giving them confidence in building their own businesses and creating more representative class of leaders. This is because skills has enabled these women to, first of all, like they are able to expenditures. These women are able to value their assets as well, because they know the financial stand of their assets. They're able to do accountability in their different projects, in their different businesses. They're also able to manage their debts within a specified threshold without risking penalties. And then also, due to financial literacy, the women have been able to develop recovery plans for loans from banks, maybe for their businesses or anything. And then they've also learned to value money in regard to time. Like, for example, they are able to apply monetary terms and conditions on regards to money in terms of both cash and credit sales. For example, let's say if somebody is doing business and you want to take something on cash, maybe there is a price, but then if you're taking it on credit, there is a certain penalty you get for that though. So I think it has been so much of help. And then these people have also been able to get their interest in case they pick loans from any financial institutions or from the banks. According to a recent study in Uganda, Uganda is first of all ranked as like the most, like with the highest number of entrepreneurs in the country with a percent. One thing that you realize about these businesses is that there are so many, but then most of them don't even live up to seeing their first birthday. Why? Because this kind of knowledge is lacking. So therefore, using both purposive and random sampling of about 126 respondents, a study that examines the role of financial inclusion of women empowerment, especially in Lao sub-region, which is in the north, in northern Uganda, was carried out, and the response rate was 100%. Mm-hmm. So the study also found out that the financial support appeared to be sparse. So therefore, regulations and supervision, monitoring of some of these firms was meant to lose their savings from such firms. So therefore, even there was a recommendation by the government to establish buffers, okay, to serve as collateral security for women who intend to secure financial credit. So financial literacy has actually gone a long way to motivate and provide some kind of security and also make these women confident to start up businesses. Yeah. And also the government, in response to this, has developed partners and like other service providers. They have developed ways to give this kind of information to people. And this has actually worked. It has gone a long way to like boost even businesses for women. Yeah, thank you.
No, I definitely agree that financial literacy can help like a huge time. And then just just moving on to the next question to Lauren. So how can financial literacy, or I guess financial inclusion in general, help different people to take their next step in their life? And what are the benefits of combining financial literacy with entrepreneurship programs?
Thanks, Uday. Yeah, I'll start with the first question. I think as far as how financial inclusion in general helps people to really take that next step is really providing the freedom to expand on ideas and being able to execute those business plans and ideas. In the space where financial inclusion and these innovative ideas meet, I really think that that's where the global change will take place. We need global communities that aren't limited by resources, but have access to resources that can contribute to becoming economically vibrant, and also to be able to develop innovative ideas, because the ideas are there. So what is lacking in the gap is the access to resources. So that's where financial inclusion steps in and creates a solution at the root of the problem. Financial literacy and entrepreneurship programs, I really think go hand in hand. I don't think they can be successful without the other. This is because at the root of extreme poverty and the societal issues that we see globally is underemployment. So we really have to be focusing on employment opportunities at the same time as being able to implement these financial literacy skill sets. And in order to be able to apply those skill sets and utilize them, individuals have to have access to those employment opportunities. And whether that's through a traditional education route or alternative routes, such as like through the creative industry, which we see a lot in Northern Uganda, of being able to provide the space for sewing classes or art classes, jewelry making, different things of providing employment opportunities. And really just looking at the employment rates that we see globally and recognizing that a lot of the labor force isn't utilized globally. And if we focus on these entrepreneurship programs, we recognize that these gaps and resources that are available for communities, we can really promote self-sustainability for individuals and communities, which the end goal of that is really financial health for communities and also economic vibrancy. So I really think that they go hand in hand, and we've seen how really working at the root of those issues really leads to sustainable development in communities.
Sure. Thank you. And then moving on to Hawa's question. So Hawa, what have you learned about financial literacy so far that you would like to share with the younger generation that can really help them in the future?
Okay, thank you for the question. So I just wanted to mention that it's never too early to start to like be interested about financial literacy. I can talk about the context of Uganda, that is like one of the most youngest countries in the world, and also at the same time one of the most entrepreneurial countries in the world, where we know that like one of the foundation in order to sustain a business is like definitely knowing financial literacy and like being knowledgeable about it. I would say the number one element I would say is like trying to learn about it as early as possible, and it's never like I would say too early to start. The other element is that it's also like financial literacy is like the foundation, because it's I would say steer in so many different aspects of your life. It's not only about entrepreneurship, it's also about education, it's also about I would say personal development, all of those elements that can also have an aspect, like have an impact on I would say social inequalities, right? So those are the elements I would like to mention for the younger people. So number one, it is never too early to know and be interested about financial literacy. And number two, it's that it's an element that will touch every aspect of your life, right? So whether you're an entrepreneur or not, and it's also like in every context, like every countries or every regions have like a different context, definitely, but those are really the fundamental elements to be aware of as a young person. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much for the advices. And also just to go off that, me just joining FinMango like about 3 months ago, I've learned so much, like basically what you said about starting early. I'm currently 19, and from FinMango, I've like literally just learned if you start early, it'll really pay off at the end. And I just love investing and just like thinking about money. But overall, just because of FinMango, I've really made my parents really interested in financial literacy as well. Just investing in stocks, and Mango Bob, him with like his couple of webinars. I just love every single one of them, and I've been to like 4 and 5, and every time I go to each one, it's always different. So I'm really like interested in whatever I do. From what I've learned from FinMango, and FinMango has definitely had a huge impact on me to learn more about financial literacy and just spread it out. And that's what we're doing right now. And I love hearing from all the experiences and all the amazing things that you guys are doing to impacting like little by little, and it's just amazing. And to just go off that, this is to all panelists. This is really similar to Hawa's question, but what is some advice you have for the younger generation of women watching this panel? And as we are placing increasing emphasis on financial literacy, are we moving towards a more equitable world?
I'll start. I also just wanted to quickly say that I really enjoyed Hawa's perspective because I think that's such an important piece of just seeing that it's not just about financial health, but how financial literacy really benefits overall emotional, mental, physical, family health, the whole spectrum. So I just love that you pointed that out because that was such an important perspective. I think as far as advice for the younger generation, would be to support each other. And if you don't have a mentor, find one, find accountability, find someone that is where you want to be, what you look up to, whether that is in your professional career, your personal, whatever that looks like. Find a mentor, find someone that can push you and challenge you, and just know that collaboration is always going to be one of the strongest tools that we have. And for the second question, for financial literacy, moving towards an equitable world, I think that it increases the diverse voices that we have on the global stage of different industries. And that's so important in reaching equality globally, because we need communities that are able to participate globally and on the global stage and that are heard. We need diversity in that space, business-wise and all across the board.
For sure, thank you. Is there anyone else that you'd like to share on the last question?
Yeah, let me go, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so my advice to the young generation, like the young people, is that first of all, I think it is important for them to be open to learning, because from my experience here, most of us, we want to be somewhere, but we are not ready to learn. We are not ready to invest our time or even resources into seeking knowledge. So if they only opened up to learning and finding knowledge wherever it is, it will help them to achieve some of their set goals and objectives in life. And then also I encourage them that they should also interact more with these people that they admire, the people that have achieved, because I believe most of the businesses that they most times want to start, maybe somebody out there has begun something of the same kind or something that is close to that. You go talk to them, ask them how they did it. With that kind of interaction, you'll get to gain so much experiences. And then before you know it, you go back to your business and you fix those things that you are not doing right. And then you'll move forward. And then also don't give up. I think it's a very important thing, like keep holding on. As for me, I have a very strong story. How it began. So many falls here and there. There was a time when I had to like literally run to my customers before I was like really established. And sometimes you've gone a very long distance, over 28 kilometers, and then somebody just says no. After all that investment, you go back, you cry, but you wake up tomorrow and you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this again. And then before you know it, it pays off, like persistence. Yeah, so nothing beats determination. If you're determined, you also have to do what you love. If you do what you love, with the set goal and objectives that you have for your business.
Yeah, one other thing I would encourage, and Lauren and I have learned this by working with Emma, is cross-global collaboration is the way of the future. It's so exciting. You get to learn from different perspectives. We've been so humbled, and whether it's called like mentorship, it's just a commonality of passion between two people. So I personally haven't met Emma in person, Lauren has, but we just connected over WhatsApp and we have conversations, we text each other things, we video each other, we have ideas. So we had an idea for COVID-19 relief and Emma talked with us about it. And within 24 hours, we had a task force team on the ground ready to distribute to people. And it never would have happened if Emma hadn't been the initial person to say, I'm going to do that. I believe in it and I'm going to make it happen. Who are we to make it happen? We have to do it together. And that's where like power is this global community that we have access to and that we can encourage each other. We can add financial health and literacy to that conversation. And you can just literally connect with anyone in the world right now. So I say like to the younger generation, use that power and that passion and figure out like, what is your vocation? What are you inspired by? Go on LinkedIn and you'll find millions of people are inspired by the same thing as you. Start a business, start a conversation. It's as easy as that.
Yes, for sure. I really feel like connection is I've learned that it's a major thing in my in these years, because connections and will get you where you want to be with your mindset. And also like on Instagram or something, I've seen like an account where like it was a post where it said, would you get paid $100,000 1 year or something, or would you hang out with the richest person for 2 years or something like that? And people like I saw the comments as well, And then people said I would live with the rich person just to see like what they do every single day and their mindset and how and what they're doing every single day to spread their financial literacy and how are they impacting like everyone, because everyone starts from a small place. And then Emma said, you never give up. Like it's all about the mindset. You always want to continue to thrive to your goal. But yes, I definitely agree. And from the chat, we have one question. How can you reach out to women who may not have the resources that you have?
I wanted to add something on
Yeah, go for it.
and also that respond to that question. Thank you so much, Devon, Lauren, and Immaculate for your input. So actually, one of the reasons why there is still a gap in financial literacy is also the fact that not everyone, like for example, if I see the gap between men and women, it's also because there's a gap in education. And like one of the fundamental problem in that is maybe not only about financial literacy itself, it is also about, you know, socio-economic restrictions as well. And it is also, as we're saying, like collaboration has to be encouraged, and especially global and like collaboration has to be encouraged. It's also about, you know, supporting and going towards the people who might not have those resources and understanding why they do not necessarily have it.
That's just a question. How can you reach out to women who may not have the resources that you have? Is there anyone who can?
I think just be bold. Honestly, be bold and just. I don't understand the full extent of the question, but if it's like just because they don't have the resources, find a nonprofit that you can partner with. I know Artisan Global will Seed will accept, you know, any volunteers for people who want to join us and become a part of it. But I think that it's just being bold and saying, I have knowledge that I can impart to someone else. So like as a creative, I have knowledge, but I need like desperate help on finances, and Emma can help me with that. And it's just by presenting that need and being bold in that, and also like being humble and vulnerable and saying, this is where I'm struggling, or I don't know. I just think like you just have to start a conversation. And if it's reaching those people, find the nonprofits in the causes and the arenas you're passionate about, and those people will be able to direct you to how you can actually support the best.
Right. I also feel like if the woman is really passionate, they'll definitely find a resource like out of anywhere if they're really passionate about what they're doing, because there's always a way to get to where you want to be. And it's just about like working hard, I guess, and just like finding your path to where you want to be. And we still have around 20 minutes left, but I just want a quick question. What is like the biggest motivation that you have had from when you were little to like right now? What is the biggest motivation you have had that wanted to keep you going every step? Like if there was a step back, what made you think of that time and it made you keep pushing through?
Maybe let me go first. So my biggest motivation personally was, it wasn't straight from childhood though, although even as I was young, I always wanted to be like my own boss. Like I always looked at myself in that perspective. And I'm like, no matter what, I knew I was going through school and all this stuff, but then I knew I wanted to be my own boss at some point. So that pushed me a lot, but also like, I was working for this organization and somehow I felt like I was underutilized. I felt like I had so much potential to do so many things, but I felt like I was just almost using a quarter of what I know, a quarter of my abilities. So I started by looking around me and trying to find the gaps that are available. I usually tell my students at the university that you don't actually need money to start. Like, the most important thing is to start. How do you start? Because let's say, for example, if you don't have an idea right now and I gave you money, what are you going to do with this money? You will just waste it. First, identify a gap, identify a problem. It is through a problem that you find a solution, and then this solution becomes the business idea. And then as you're providing solution to as you're providing or working towards developing a solution for this problem that you've identified, you've come up with a business, and it is a business that is going to work out because you're solving a problem that is actually in society. Before you know it, even the people that are facing this same problem might come out to want to help you. So for me, it was more about youth unemployment. And then I felt like everybody needed an opportunity and a chance to be included into like society. And then also everybody deserved a decent life to be able like to fend for themselves, regardless of whether they were formally or not formally educated. So how can this person achieve their dream? Everybody has got dreams, but we've been brainwashed and given a mindset that it's only after school that you can do something. I personally have a degree in IT, but I choose to do creative arts. And apparently I'm working on my project majorly makes shoes from leather, and I train other students to do the same. And these are people of the society, people, school dropouts, maybe children from the street. And we've gotten rid of so much hooliganism and idling on the streets of Gulu. People are working and they're making their own money, and they feel good and they feel like they've been included into society as well. So I think sometimes it's all about, first of all, thinking of something that you need to do, and it has to be something you're passionate about. Before you know it, you'll be able to offer a solution, one which people need, and you will flourish, because out of even these people that are benefiting from this solution might come sponsors and donors and everybody else. You'll be supported in terms of advice, in terms of money, and so many things. Yeah, so that's my motivation mostly.
That's amazing. Boss lady. But yeah, I definitely agree that there is a thinking where you have to have money to get started and to get the education. But like you said, it really helps like just to get started off with something and that you have passion with, and that's really amazing. Anyone else want to share the story about their biggest motivation?
I just like one of my motivation was at a very early age. It was to understand that not all talents deserve, I would say, not the attention, but also the resources that like they deserve in a way. And it's also about understanding like why some are, I would say, more privileged than others to be able to do that. So for example, I can say like when I was in Uganda, that was like when I had to meet like the most inspiring people like in the world. Like you talk to every young people and most of them are running a business on the side and plus like studying and all of that. And they might not necessarily, if they were in a totally different context, like the end result of all their effort will be very different. And so one of my motivation is really to be able to like raise those potentials in like I would say the platform or with the resources that I say they need to you know, empower themselves and achieve like great goals. Yeah.
As well. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say the same for me. It's like self-motivation, and there will always be limitations. There are always going to be restraints, whether it's cultural or societal, but you have to just have that ambition and know your worth. And everyone is worth, you know, a pearl of great price. Everyone is so worthy of pursuing their business goals. And I think you have to set aside, like, what are my limitations and how young am I? Like, I wish I had started 10 years ago. I probably didn't start because of fear of failure, thinking, who am I to start a nonprofit? But if you actually like listen to that inner voice and that passion, the things that light you up, then you'll be able to say, this is why, this is my why, and I'm going to pursue it. every single day. There are days that are so hard with Artisan Global that Lauren and I face, and we just have to go back to like, why are we doing it? We're creating more sustainable work so more people can live like in this space where they don't have to experience poverty, and they don't have to experience like the emotionality of poverty. They literally will live in this place where they are of confidence and they know their worth and they're living it out, their fullest potential. But it first starts with saying, I have potential. I am someone in this world and I can make a difference, because every single one of us can.
Right. And I feel like just like if you do something and if you do something like giving and you just see the smile on the person's face that you did it for, I feel like that's the biggest thing that you can like just see, and just it's like the most like heart feeling thing you can just feel. Like that smile will like will make you keep going to what you want to do and keep doing, for sure. And then from the chat, Bob asked, Bengal Bob, he said, how can we get more great ladies like you to become mentors to young girls in society? And then how can young women who feel like they're going to undergo business challenges best reach out to people similar to you all?
I know for us, we're an open door. Our whole team is. We would be happy to communicate and offer any, advice, support that we can, especially for young women, and really just in general of being able to collaborate across different organizations, different companies. We love that piece of being able to share in perspectives with each other. So we're always open. Email, LinkedIn, whatever is best as far as reaching out. You'll definitely get a response from us. I personally have, in my, adult life, have had a hard time finding mentors. I've had a hard time, reaching those people. A lot of the times when people get to that point where you want to be, they become kind of unattainable. If they're leading an organization or they're, doing something that you really look up to, it can be really difficult to reach people that are at that point. And so I, for a while, was very discouraged by that. I wanted to learn from them. I crave learning. I crave being able to look up to women leaders and to be able to really learn and grow within that. So I think it's super important as young leaders, young women leaders that we are, to really be available and to be open to that mentorship and to know the importance of that, because it's crucial to have someone to look up to and to be able to even bounce questions off of, or advice, experiences. So we definitely see a huge value in that.
Sure. Just a quick question. So we still have like 10 minutes left, but what do you guys think about this event, Extravaganza, and how it's like impacting all the different generation, the younger generation, and what do you guys just think about that? Like,
I really appreciate to see the concept of having, I would say, like very diverse speakers, like from all around the world, and like understanding that financial inclusion and financial literacy has not necessarily the same definition from like regions to regions, but like have still the same fundamentals. So yeah, that's what I can say. And also, like, it's about, as I was saying earlier, like it's never too early to start. So having such conferences that target youth is, I would say, like more than primordial. So thank you so much for organizing it, and I look forward to see your other panels.
it's definitely.
Yeah, I think that there's so much value. And really, I think a huge thing that stands out to me is the accessibility of an event like this. And, the current strained circumstances that we find ourselves in, we are seeing a lot more things virtual, but a lot of the times before circumstances like this, a lot of resources like this are very inaccessible, especially to youth, and really being able to grow professionally in these specific topics. So having such important discussions and conversations that are accessible to a diverse group, I think is a huge breakthrough.
Yeah, and for me, I was telling Scott, it's kind of like a TED conference or a TEDx conference, but we're doing it together. So it's like the togetherness and the unity of that. And I don't know what the world will look like post COVID-19, but if it looks anything like this, of just like uniting together to discuss important topics, the world is going to be a better place, because I know that we have experienced, like, just through the conference and the weeks leading up to this, our extravaganza, that like it's a family of support when we've never even met, you, Uday, but it's like feeling like you have my back and I've never met you. And just because you're a screen on my, computer screen, that's irrelevant. Like, we're connecting,
For technology, so I feel like it is
Yeah.
changing the world, because like just to get all of us in one place, like for a TED talk, it'd be so hard to set the time and everything. But like internet is just bringing all of us together, and I just can't imagine what future. I mean, against holds of us, because like every year is just new things are coming out and new technology, and I definitely think that it's gonna keep getting easier to reach out to people. And like this is just amazing, where I can talk to 5 people at the same time, 4 people at the same time, like up to like they're like we have classes online that are up to like 300 students, and it's just amazing how everything is just in one spot. But yeah, I'm sorry I cut you off, Emma. Yeah.
No, it's okay. So for me, I think the deep involvement of women, especially in financial literacy, means a lot for me as a person. And then also it means a lot, especially in a place like this, in Uganda, northern Uganda in particular, because I could even say in Africa, because we've been faced by so many forces that come in between, that prevent us from going to places that we want to be. Some of them are cultural, some of them are like, there are so many limitations. So once we keep having extravaganzas like this and conferences like this, it motivates us, and it makes us realize that we can actually be whatever we want to be. So I am also very sure that so many people, especially Ugandans, even those ones that are watching me right now, they will feel so nice, and tomorrow they'll also almost want to be like me. And that is a very good thing. That means we are growing. So I'm very excited and very honored to be on this panel.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I'm honored to just speak with everyone, with everyone, and if all the Uganda people on the chat, if they can say hi to anything that they want to say, they could definitely go for it. We'd love to see how many people are out there. But yeah, it's just we have like 4 minutes left. Just want to say thank you. It was amazing, like just reaching out and contacting you and just talking with you, getting to know you. And I'm only 19, about to be a sophomore in college, and I'm talking to some amazing people that are like impacting lives every single day. And it just motivates me, and just like think just not only you guys, but like all the people, like all the speakers in here. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy just to think about it. And then like all these chats, I can't believe like there's around 50 to 60 people. It's just amazing. Um, just to see the chat. Bob said, I believe you all are opening lots of eyes and minds of young ladies around the world. And yeah, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything. It was really nice talking to you.